He knows it doesn't matter what's under a hood. The only thing that matters is who's behind the wheel.
When I'm flushing it, I don't stick divots.
But again, with the driver right now, the driver sucks.
I tried to activate my glutes the best I could.
Most important thing, make sure you fade it.
Hello and welcome to another week of Under the Covers. I know this is not a voice you're used to hearing at the beginning. Dominic unfortunately couldn't be with us, but we've got myself, Kevin, and our buddy Matt with us. Matt, how you doing?
Kevin, I'm great. I would argue that you're an upgrade to Dom, because I don't like that. But thanks for having me. Yeah, it is hot here in Texas. 100 degrees today. It is officially summer here. Golf is going to get a lot tougher in the afternoons, but September can't come soon enough.
Yeah, it's pretty darn muggy here in St. Louis. And it is a very dark day for us Cleveland Browns fans as the Browns traded Myles Garrett, the best.
That's right. Yeah, to the LA Rams, going on to bigger and better
in Browns history, and he gone. So we'll just try not to pay attention to that. But
you don't think Johnny Football was the best player in the Browns?
It's a close second. They were tied for a while, but yeah. Charles Schwab Challenge. Russell Henley won. Somehow Dominic is a cheater and has 2 wins in his one and dones on the year. Not sure how he's doing it, but he is just unreal. We lost a lot of ground on him this week. We'll get into that a little bit later, but yeah, Russell Henley's a dog. He's a great player. I remember watching him in college and thinking he would be a flash in the pan and be gone. And his name has just stuck around for a long time. So congrats to Russell Henley on a big dub. You know, there was some good scores over the weekend. Looked like it would be pretty darn warm to be attending in person. But what'd you think of the tournament?
Well, he literally is a dog. Go Dogs.
Right.
Georgia
Yeah.
Not just on the course, but personality wise too. It was hot. Crowds were thin. I've been to that tournament a lot of times over the years. Probably, I would say I've been there 5 times now. And it is the crowds were a lot thinner than I was used to seeing out there, which sucks. And we'll kind of probably get into that a little bit, but to birdie 16, 17, and 18. That's pretty good stuff. 16 is no gimme. It's like 100 and can play anywhere between 165 and 190 yards, par 3 to a really tiny green, super slopey. It's like real quadranted. So there's like, if you hit it in the wrong part of the green, can't make birdie. 17 is just, you got to hit 2 great shots. One off the tee and then coming to that green is so small on 17. And then 18 is a little bit easier to birdie for sure. Colonial, they do that one pretty often, but still to come down the stretch and birdie 3 in a row to get into a playoff is pretty good for Mr. Henley.
Yep, nice $1.7 million payday for Mr. Henley. Living large. Hopefully he lived it up and got a nice celebration in there, but defeated Eric Cole. Eric Cole's been around for a little bit. Did not realize how old he is. What was he? 37?
He looks like he's 25.
PXG guy, sponsored by the MLB, right? That logo is pretty cool.
Yeah. It's like him, Cam Young was sponsored by MLB, and then like John at one point, and like Peter Malnati or whatever it is.
Yeah, Adam Long was sponsored by the MLB, and it's just kind of an interesting look. You know, you don't expect to see another league's logo, somewhere else between leagues, but MLB has been sponsoring golfers here for a number of years, so cool stuff. But wasn't Eric Cole in one of the bigger names to switch to PXG this year, or had he been with PXG?
Him and Aldrich Potgieter and Marco Penge were the 3 signings, I think, to go over to PXG.
Yeah, didn't we talk like a number of weeks ago about, early season is a big deal that they switched, and then like they all did terrible to start the year or something.
Yeah, and I feel like that happens with all club switches. Like, I mean, no one, I don't think, comes out firing, but it seems like they're doing the PXG stuff isn't bad. Like, I mean, it seems it's better than it was however many years ago when they let like Billy Horschel and Zach Johnson auto switch, and then all their games fell off for like a good handful of years there.
Yeah.
So it seems like they've found their niche in the golf equipment world for sure.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah. What else
Speaking
is
of
going
guys
on?
that have, I mean, Russell Henley. Just going back on him, I think like I want to. He doesn't hit it very far. Colonial is like the perfect golf course for him to win on. But I mean, I really believe like if he wasn't born in this generation of bomb and gouge, he would be one of the best players in the world. Like if he was a professional in the 70s, 80s, and even to the 90s, like we'd be talking in him in like generational status. But it sucks that he's not like. I mean, I think he really truly goes to like a handful of events every year and is like, I can actually win this golf.
Yeah. He's got 6 wins on tour. When was his last one? His last one was the Arnold Palmer last year. Then he had
I guess that's a big golf course.
Yeah, that's a big one. His first win was in 2013. So, he had a decent sized gap between the Shell Houston Open and then the Worldwide Technology Championship in his PGA Tour wins. But, this kind of shows some staying power that, he started off early, again, winning in 2013 and now 13 years later gets another win at a solid golf course. Yeah, that's a nice resume and a nice long PGA Tour career.
And he's been a pretty constant. He's been on a couple Ryder Cup teams now and a couple President's Cup teams. So like he's and he's constantly always up there in the rankings and the OWGR. He just doesn't win a lot, I guess.
Yeah. He's got to be one of like the least flashy guys on tour.
Yeah, no, for sure. But yeah, congrats to Russell. Big fan of Russell Henley.
Yeah. So we got some notes from Dom. He wanted to include that Brandt Snedeker looks like Barstool Riggs at a dress. Not really sure what he means there.
I mean, is that a slide on Riggs or is that a slide on Brandt Snedeker?
I think it's got to be Brandt Snedeker.
Yeah,
but I think he also, in his text to us, did he say Brad Snedeker?
He did say Brad Snedeker, but I think he's probably put a couple back today. So
yeah, right. Hopefully that's autocorrect. But yeah, I guess it's got to be a slant towards Brad Snedeker. And then he also didn't realize how old Eric Cole is. What else did Dom have to say?
He said he knows Eric Cole. So Eric Cole, one of the better pitchers we had, lefty, and the sickest pickoff move at getting a batter at first base.
So that's like a double name, Eric Cole. I assume he means like an Astros pitcher or something.
Oh, maybe he does mean or was he actually a pitcher?
Yeah, Eric Cole retired in 2022. I don't know if it's a pitcher. No, this is a minor league guy. It's got to be a friend of his, right? We're figuring it out. Yeah, this is an outfielder.
This is a different guy.
Career minor leaguer. Totally different guy. Well, thanks for the content, Dom. He'll love listening to this later. But and Eric, if you're listening to, thanks for being a part of the show. So let's get into the under the covers on Russell Henley.
Yeah,
he's got a fun bag. He's got some staying power on tour, and some of his clubs have some staying power as well.
Yeah.
So his driver, Titleist TSI 3, came out in, I believe, 2020.
Yeah.
Hazardous Smoke Black 70 TX. So older club, been playing it for a bit. Again, like you said, Titleist guy, one of these people who likes to keep something in the bag. The TSI 3 being the more players, but not, crazy unforgiving. A little forgiveness, some workability, but, lower spin than, say, the TSI 2. Were you ever a TSI 3 guy?
Yeah, I actually had the TSI 3. I think the TSI... Was the TSI the first TS driver?
No,
they had the TS.
Yeah, TS came out in 2018. That's his 3-wood.
Yeah, so I think I went from the 917 to the TSI 3 when I got the TSI 3, and I loved it. And then I ended up getting into the TSR 3, but TSI was really, I feel like, where they made the first jump. Like Titleist made their first jump into being really good with drivers. I feel like that was when all that definitely like that step up in R&D.
I had the 910 D3 and the 915 D3 and loved those. The 915 wasn't really like a hot face. So I remember, I'd get outdriven like all the time, but I felt like accuracy wise, it was really good. And then if I'm remembering correctly, it was the TSI, like you said, it was like they made a big jump. Titleist like figured out that they were like losing the distance battle and like put a ton of their R&D in getting a hotter face. And then it's like the TSI, TSR, and then getting into the GT and now GTS, they've really like picked up, and closed the gap between them and some other manufacturers on having like a long hitting driver.
No, for sure.
So it feels like that was yesterday, but the driver came out in 2020, so it's been a few years. So moving on to his 3-wood, he's got a matching shaft, a smoke black 80TX TS3. So now that being the first in the TS lineup, so that'd be in 2018. So midway between his first PGA Tour win and today, he's been playing this 3-wood apparently for half of his career.
3-woods have staying power, though. We know that. That's the one like that has the most staying.
Yeah, and the TS, well, I guess any of the Titleist fairway woods, they haven't been the ones that we've been reviewing as older clubs that have stayed in people's bags.
Right.
It seems like that's always been TaylorMade. As much as we kind of make jokes about TaylorMade being like a marketing company, their fairway woods have been the ones that have stuck around, in lots of people's bags. So interesting that the TS3 has stayed around in Russell's bag.
Kevin, tell me about the hazardous smoke. What compare the hazardous smoke black to I feel like I'm so familiar with the Ventus lineup. Ventus red, blue, and black. Where does that sit relative?
It would be like the Ventus black.
Okay.
So the hazardous lineup, they've got it's kind of like Graphite Design where they've got like a few different models that some are kind of similar, so a little bit different but kind of similar. The black would be low launch, low spin. The green is like their lowest launching low spin. Yellow, low launch, low spin. I think it's the hazardous red was their higher launching, so that would kind of go along with the Ventus red.
Yeah.
I think the hazardous blue is mid-launch, I think it's mid-launch. So I think most manufacturers have kind of kept the like naming kind of similar. You got the Ventus red, black, blue, or red, blue, black.
Right.
Tensei does the, blue and black, and hazardous has done the same. The green being the lowest launching, lowest spinning, up the hazardous lineup, but the black would be right there. And then as the green phased out, hazardous went to black being the like newer low launch, low spin as they went to like the 4th and 5th generation.
Yeah. Interesting. He plays TX. It doesn't swing it that.
Yeah. I feel like all these tour guys, they pretty much all play TX. I mean, they've got enough club head speed. Just trying to keep that spin down. Cool lineup though that he's got driver, then 3-wood, 7-wood, but the 7-wood being the brand new GTS 7-wood, and then he's got the Project X Denali Black 80TX. So super old driver in 3-wood, but then brand new 7-wood. The 7-wood's kind of the new craze on tour and across all golf circles. Lots of people are picking up 7-woods. Kind of makes sense that would be a newer one, since most people weren't really playing 7-woods at the time he picked up his driver in 3-wood, but kind of cool to see that in the bag. And then in his irons, he's got a more forgiving 4-iron. He's got the Titleist T250 with a True Temper DG AMT, and then his 5 through 9 Titleist T100s from 2019. So again, about halfway through his career from first win to now, just on the back half, but older model, playing the True Temper DG Tour Issue X100s, different from Aaron Rye's stock shafts.
Yeah.
But Yeah. But so he's got the Dynamic Gold Tour issue X100s, pretty common shaft. In the shorter irons, so is 7 through 9, but then the AMTs 4 through 6.
What does AMT? What does AMT stand for?
I don't know. I'm usually the trivia
I love
guy.
the AMT.
Do you know?
Oh yeah, I know. Ascending Mass Technology.
Okay, I did know that actually. Now that you say that.
So these ones are cool because they go. I weirdly I don't know as much about driver shafts, but I know a ton about iron shafts. I feel like it's like a weird thing. But there's a kind of a club fitter guy at my club that really loves the AMTs. He speaks super highly of. He thinks you should have AMTs in all your clubs. But basically each shaft is like grammed lighter. So like the 4-iron shaft is 3 grams lighter than the 5-iron shaft, and then it's 3 grams lighter. Like a different weight all the way through. They basically say that it makes it easier to swing a 4-iron that's lighter, right? And then as you get down in loft, you want kind of a heavier shaft. So I think he plays the white, or so Ascending Mass Technology white, which is their low launch, low spin ones in the X100s, which is a good shaft. AMTs, I would encourage, if you're ever getting fitted for irons, to go check out the AMTs. A little different way of fitting into an iron shaft, but sometimes people say it makes the 4-iron a little easier to hit, the longer irons especially. So.
Nice, cool stuff there. And then wedges, you're a wedge aficionado, but he's got 47, 51, 55, and 60 in the Vokey SM11s. So true to his Titleist bag, and then he's got the S400s as his wedge shafts. What do you think about his wedges? As
the chief wedge officer of Under the Covers, I approve. Pretty simple stuff. These are going to be SM11s are going to be in every Titleist staffer's bag. They're not going to. I mean, they might let you hold on to something, but they're not gonna. They're going to try to get those SM11s into your hand. Yeah, and then on those wedges, he's got F grind on the 47, F on the 50. Does that make sense? So that's your like full soled, more full swing type of grind. Then the S grind has that like that back end relief, right? And then the T grind, that's a pretty low bounce, like low bounce, very narrow sole.
Yeah. So that would not be for me.
Yeah. You have to be a pretty good wedge player to hit those, for sure. Yeah,
I'd be absolutely terrified to play that T grind. It's 4 degrees of bounce and just all the grinding on there. That'd be wild.
It's similar. I mean, it's not. It's a narrow version of the K grind essentially. But a lot of the tour guys have been going to the T grind. It just makes sense when you play on courses that have such tight lies, right? Like it just it just nips it super well. So I think they all towards that.
The soft Midwest soil, I'd just be digging that thing in so deep. The ball would go 3 feet every time.
Yeah.
That would be tough. And then, so his putter, he's got a Circle T Phantom 5. I believe it's face balance, right? Like, I don't think he's got...
He's a claw guy, kind of like yours truly nowadays.
Yeah. How's that claw working for you?
The claw's good, man. I like the claw. As my friends can tell you, I've created a new celebration where if I make a putt, I crab walk on the green. But no, the claw's good. I think he used to not be a claw guy, if I remember correctly, early in his career, and he's transitioned to the claw. And I think he's notoriously one of the better putters on tour. I don't want to say he's like the putter on tour, but he's never outside of the top 20 or
his putter actually looks like it has like maybe a single bend in the shaft rather than double bend, so he might have a little bit of how Scotty Cameron calls it, toe flow. But cool look on the putter with the X5. I like the head design there. I had a 5.5 for a little bit, but turns out it wasn't for me. His strokes gained putting on the season is 39th for the tour. So he is gaining 0.3 shots, over the field. Strokes gained putting. His driving accuracy, what do you think? What do you think that is? Just ranking on tour. You don't have to give a percentage.
I think he is I think he's like the best driver, best accuracy on tour.
Yeah, he's first.
Yeah,
Driving accuracy is first.
I think he stripes it.
Yeah, and so strokes gained total, he's 13th. So he is he's having a very good season. Good stats. I mean, he's accurate with that old driver. The putter's rolling, and then one more thing on his stats. He's got. Sorry, I just navigated.
He might be good for at Adair Manor 2027. I feel like that place is going to be super tight. Or they're going to try to make it super tight.
Is that the next Ryder Cup?
Yeah.
Nice. Where is that in France? Where?
Dublin.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. I feel like I should know that. Then last thing about Russell Henley is just overall stats. He's 5th in official world golf rankings right now. So again, for being around for a while, he is looking pretty good.
Yeah.
And his career earnings, $51 million. So good for our boy Russell. And his ball, he plays the Pro V1X. So haven't had that a ton of times, but I think that's our second or third on the season. So
yeah, I'm toying around with the Pro V1X left dash right now, Kevin.
Yeah, I love the left dash. It's the straightest ball there is. It just goes forever.
All right, I'm excited for it. I'm bringing it to Scotland.
It's so low spin. It just like you can't hit it bad. But it doesn't bother me. But I've heard from other people that they don't like how hard it feels on short shots.
Yeah, I've heard the same thing. So
I've noticed certainly on my putter, it doesn't feel as soft. You do get quite a lot of feedback that it feels a little harder. But I like it.
And I think I've almost gotten to the point because I'm playing that Odyssey White Hot that it's almost so soft with the Pro V1X that I'm going to be okay with the firmness of that golf ball. It's almost offsets the softness of that putter.
Yeah. You should do a little side-by-side comparison with, say, like a Pro V1X and then a Pro V1X left dash and report back on how they feel.
Might do a little test video this weekend. Throw it out on Under the Covers.
Do 2 things, or 3 things. So do it normal. Then, so I saw this video about Ping talking about like how people like interpret putter softness and, with like how they do like milling and stuff. So do it normal, see what you think. Then put earbuds in and do it again. And then do a blindfold and earbuds and do it again. All right. Because
the difference of what ball's what?
Yeah, so the Ping engineers were saying if you can't hear the ball, they like all feel the same. The sound apparently like directly correlates to how you think something is soft or not.
Got it. Okay.
And that like blew my mind.
All right. I like it.
Yeah.
I'm going to try it.
Do it next week. Report back. Left dash for Pro V1X. Right. So that is it on what's under the covers for our Georgia Bulldog, Russell Henley. Let's go into some golf news. I think we got some stuff about the NCAA finals going on. What do you know?
Yeah, we're watching it right now. They're in a 5-for-2 playoff in the men's for the team championship. It looks like absolute craziness out there. They're going bananas, switching between shots. There's all these players out there. Crazy. But yeah, congrats to Stanford, another women's NCAA title. They're like UConn for women's basketball. They're like, the Philadelphia Eagles for NFL football. Who else should I say? Not the Browns. No, NCAA, the women's Stanford team is legit. They keep producing great player after great player coming out of that program. So super cool to see. Congrats to them. And yeah, Preston Stout just won the individual for the men's. So he now gets an invite into the Masters, which is sick. That's sick. Awesome. That's an awesome perk for the NCAA champion.
So if you get that invite, can you like turn pro before you have to play as an amateur?
Yeah. So that happened with Michael Lasasso this year because he went to live, but he won the NCAAs last year, so he didn't play in the Masters.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm sure we talked about that.
Michael Lasasso might be regretting his decision. Right.
Right.
I mean, he probably got the bag to go to live, but he might not have anywhere to play next year. So
yeah, it's on the YouTube Golf League team.
Yeah, the YGL. Yeah, Liv had an event in Korea. Joaquin Neiman won again. Nobody really, I didn't really hear about it until he won. It was kind of pretty low key. But here's a question for you, Kevin. So we just talked about Russell Henley. He has made, you said 54 million in career
51,
earnings?
yeah.
51. Okay, 51 million. And neither here nor there. But Joaquin Neiman has won 8 events on Liv so far in the Liv whatever history.
It's a good resume.
What's his number of earnings on Liv compared to Russell Henley?
So that's isn't that a tough one, because in their contracts weren't there like prize pools just like bundled into their contracts?
If we were going by the winner gets 4 million or whatever it is for winnings for winning a Liv event, that's how much they've said he's earned in Liv.
Okay. I don't think I know. I don't like have any concept at the purses for Liv, so I'll just say for 8 wins, we'll just go with 32 million.
75 million in Liv earnings.
Damn.
And Russell Henley has made 51 million in his career.
And he had some solid like career earnings before joining Liv, right?
I know. And he probably got a bunch of money to go to Liv, right? And who knows if that's all bundled in like you were saying, but I mean, still, it's crazy.
I could be totally wrong, but I thought I remembered hearing that like John Rahm went for 300 million, whatever, but then it was like if he won, that was a part of the 300 million.
That's what people say. And who knows if that's true or not. What's going to be crazy with Liv is that if John Rahm was paid up front for his contract, right? Like if your contract is 300 million over 3 years, right? You get 100 million a year. But if Liv ceases to exist after 2 years of your contract and they can't pay you the 100 million, your contract is void.
Yeah.
The problem, it sounds like, is like all these contracts were paid up front. So John Rahm still has like 2 years on his contract or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But if Liv ceases to exist, they still own the rights to John Rahm because they paid him $300 million. So if they're playing like the Young Slime Life tour next year in 2027, like he has to go play on Nickelodeon for them.
And do you think there's any way he can get out of that? If like, there's got to be some sort of terms that if Liv doesn't exist.
He's even said it. He's even said that Liv, it doesn't look like that he could get out of the contract. Like he said that the contract's pretty tight.
But that's like if Liv still exists, right?
Right. But if Liv exists, I guess what I'm saying is if Liv exists as like the YouTube golf tour, but they call themselves Liv.
Yeah.
He's like
stuck.
owned by them to play, and he has to go show up to play against Bob Does Sports for while they eat 10 hot dogs on the golf course. Like he's required to do it.
Yeah, I'm sure he won't love it, but I guess there's worse things in life, right?
Yeah. And Bryson used AI. He was talking through. He was like, I was struggling with my wedges, and he used Gemini or something to do something. I just think he is. I think the fall of Bryson has come to us. I think it's gonna be a slow, painful death. But
I'm surprised it's like the first time he's admitting to using AI. I bet he does it all the time.
Yeah.
And then he just like takes the spit out that it gives him and just regurgitates it like it was his own thought.
Yeah.
Just so he can sound smart.
Yeah. And then per Dom's comments, the league needs more odds in tournaments.
That's a good point. Great accents.
Yeah. I miss Greg Norman when he did the U.S. Open.
Yeah. Good shout out, Dom. Everyone loves a good Aussie. So that is it for golf news. We're going to move into our Memorial preview. One of the bigger non-majors on tour. Discussed last week. It's one of the 5 invitationals on tour. Tough course, Jack's Place, lots of water, thick rough. A
lot of milkshake content this week, Kevin.
Yes. Hey, and have you been?
I have not been, but I am going.
Yeah.
I will be heading out there in September. I'm very excited about it. From what I've heard, that is the milkshakes that you can get with actual liquor in the milkshakes are really what they're known for. Outside of the TV coverage, I think when you can mix a shake with rum or whatever it is, you got to be careful. So
Yeah. I forget what year it was, but a friend of mine was talking about, did you hear when the like cicadas came out at the memorial? And it was like one of those years where like is like, cicadas come out of the ground every 7 years, but there's different types, and sometimes they're different 7 years, like line up perfectly.
yeah,
And it was like Armageddon of cicadas just flying
really,
everywhere. And we had that in St. Louis 2 years ago. They're like flying in your face and like in your pockets and like just all over the place. So a friend was saying he was drinking a beer at the memorial. Like I think he said he was watching Tiger, so it had to have been a number of years ago. Cicada flies in his beer and he just scoops it out and then just keeps drinking his beer.
oh,
It's just so gross.
yeah.
Anyways, not a fun thing, but good thing that it's not a big cicada here this year.
I'm a big fan of Memorial. It's one of the toughest golf courses that they play all year. Usually, I think it's like high single digits under par wins. I think it's like usually like 8 or 9 under, depending how firm it is. But yeah, overall, just like it's a super good test. It's really long. It's tight. And they got to hit all the shots there. And Jack, I always love when like they bring Jack on, and he's always like, "Yeah, we're gonna tear up this hole next year." Right. And like, and then he's like, well, he didn't like how a hole played for them. So he just like tears it up and starts over, which is awesome. I'm not the biggest Jack Nicklaus like design fan in some places, because I think a lot like if you remember earlier this year, Jack Nicklaus sued the Jack Nicklaus company, whatever, like because like the Jack Nicklaus design is like he's almost like not even a part of it anymore. So like you might get a Jack Nicklaus design golf course that like is not even Jack Nicklaus might not even know what the golf course is. Right.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I definitely, that's the part I don't like, but I think when he actually does do design and he's involved in the designs, the courses are really good that he touches. Right. So
Okay.
like there's a couple that I've played that I know he's actually been there working through it and been part of the architecture. So I think he is a good architect, and he obviously knows how to test the best players in the world. So it's always a fun week. It looks like Augusta National out there. Conditioning looks dialed every year. So it's a good watch on TV.
Yeah, for sure. It stands out every single year. We'll probably see a million highlights of it, but it was awesome. In 2012, Tiger's flop shot. Jack called it like the best shot he's ever seen, given the circumstances.
I remember where I was. I remember watching that live. It was crazy.
Where were you?
I was sitting on my couch upstairs. Me and my buddy had just gotten in playing golf, and it was just like a summer in Houston, and it was 150 degrees outside, and we just were sitting there hanging out. And I remember just going bananas when we saw Tiger make that wet. It was awesome.
Yeah.
And it was over Ricky Fowler. Remember Ricky Fowler's wearing all orange and everything?
Yep. Ricky just like looked totally in awe right next to him.
Yeah. It's probably one of those where it's like, well, this is cool, but this sucks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That was 2012.
Yeah. It was a long time ago.
14 years ago.
It looks like UCLA just got a spot in the tournament. So
what? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good for them.
Yeah. Trivia? You have Memorial trivia for us?
Yes. So Memorial trivia. It kind of goes without saying on what golf course the Memorial is at Muirfield Village, what it's named after. That'd be Muirfield, in Scotland.
I will not be playing that once when I'm in Scotland in a few weeks.
You really won't be?
No, it's really hard to get on.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I would say the most elite one I'm playing is Royal Aberdeen.
Okay, nice. That's a good one. So trivia for this week. Again, normal rules. If you get it right, I'll chug a beer. Dom isn't here to give you a chance to chug, so you're in the clear this week. But the name comes from Muirfield in Scotland, where Jack Nicklaus won the Open Championship. And this week's trivia question is, what year did he win the Open at Muirfield?
Gosh. Okay, so the duel in the sun was 77. That was against against Tom Watson, but that wasn't at Muirfield. That was at True. He won the Open at Muirfield in 1975.
Not quite. 1966.
Oh, wow.
That's a long freaking time ago.
That's a long time ago. Did I get the duel in the sun correct in 1977? It doesn't matter, but I know.
Maybe we could take a quick pause.
Duel in the Sun golf was the 1977 Open Championship at Turnberry. So I was off on the golf course.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was a good one. I had a funny feeling it was going to have something to do with that one. I was hoping it was going to be like the Tiger shot or like, something like that. There was also somebody, I forget, that won like twice at Memorial, and he like loved Memorial, similar to the guy you asked me about, Arnold Palmer. And I was trying to think through it. Oh man, it was like Daniel Summerhays or something, I think it was, that like he was like a Memorial killer for like 2 years in a row. But other than that, he couldn't win anywhere else. So
yeah, I was scared you were going to get this right because I am not in a beer chugging mood. Had a few too many at a golf outing in the sun earlier today.
Yeah.
But
well, that was a good one. That was good stuff.
Yeah, so that was his first Open Championship, first of 3, went 1966, 1970, and 1978.
Okay.
So
nice.
Good stuff for Jack Nicklaus. Then how about we move into one and dones?
That's right.
Tough week for us.
I hate one and dones.
One and dones are not going well. Dom is a cheater and somehow picked Russell Henley. I don't know how he's doing it again, but he's doing it. Got Russell Henley at first, Matt McCarty, my lefty brethren, at T60. And then Matt's worst pick of the entire year is one of his bigger names of the entire year, Sanjay M, T120.
My thoughts on this are, we should have punished Dom more for picking people that weren't in the field.
Yeah.
That was stupid on our part. We should have just made him get 200 for those.
I agree.
So that we might have to retroactively go back.
Yeah, but I also benefited from that 1 week, so I don't know.
Maybe we'll punish both of you guys.
Yeah.
And he one of his notes he dropped, he said Matt's picks need to be genuinely studied. Sure, but his picks also need to be genuinely studied, because I think he's in the wrong career. I think he could be a professional gambler, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So
if he had put just some basic bets on finishing position, top 20,
yeah,
he'd be so positive right now on the year.
No. Yeah, that's wild. So congrats to Dom. He's pretty much feels like he's locked up this one for the year, but he hasn't sent in his pick yet, Kevin, for Memorial. So I feel like we get to pick for him.
I totally agree.
Okay.
Totally agree. Where's Pearson Cootie? Is he playing?
You take Pearson Cootie out of your mouth.
Or sorry, Chandler Phillips.
I don't think he made it.
Yeah, Dom's last 5 weeks have been insane. Since he picked Cam Young to win the Cadillac Championship, he's got 1st, 8th, 4th, 19th, and 1st. And then in that same span, I'm 65, 583, 60. So good in the middle. And then you're 23, 19, 28, 62, and 120. That is a tough sight.
That's tough. Okay, I got Dom's pick for when we're ready.
All right. You go first, usual fashion.
As myself or as Dom?
As you.
Okay.
Because I could pick that one
That's true.
Probably won't, but
I am going. Oh man, this one's kind of, give me Ben Griffin. Played well last week in Colonial. Hits the ball a long way. Think he's gonna play good at Colonial. He lost to Scotty by I think 1 at Memorial a couple years ago, or something like that. Maybe it was last year.
Okay.
Can't remember.
I like it. Yeah, I already picked him earlier this year. Or no, actually, no, I didn't pick him. He was in my Masters, like maybe first time winners. So actually, I do have Ben Griffin. That's a good pick. He played well last week. For my pick, I feel like at Memorial, like we talked about, it's really hard, a lot of water, really difficult rough. So need someone steady. So I'm going to go Mr. Alexander Schauffele, also known as Xander Schauffele.
Nice. Yeah, good pick. I heard a crazy stat. He hasn't finished outside of the top 20 in like three years at the majors, at all the majors. He's always been in the top 20. It's crazy.
So steady. So good.
Yeah. All right. For Dom's pick.
Whoever it is going to win again.
He's getting Matt Kuchar.
Okay. That'd be unreal if he comes just out of the woodwork.
If Matt Kuchar doesn't finish near DFL this week, Dom is truly something special. But Matt Kuchar is been uncompetitive on the tour for quite a while at this point. Although I will say he was a Memorial killer for a while. He won in 2013, but it is not 2013 anymore.
It is not. Ever since he had that debacle with not paying his caddy in Mexico,
El Falcon, if you remember that story. I think that was El Toucan. That was the Toucan was the caddy's name. Where you
really?
Yeah.
Nice. I didn't remember that, but that story was wild. And Matt Kuchar's world ranked 189th.
Yeah.
It's like,
Dom, congratulations on winning. You're not gonna. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he's not. If Matt Kuchar wins this week at the Memorial, I will chug 6 beers on camera on the podcast next week.
Sounds very unpleasant.
I'll chug a whole 6-pack. That's how confident I am that Matt Kuchar won't win.
We'll hold you to it. That sounds absolutely terrible. So I think that's all we got for Under the Covers this week. Should be a fun time watching the Memorial and seeing how the players fare here this week. Matt, you got anything else? Any parting words?
Yeah, excited for Memorial, number one of my favorite weeks of the year. Also, we would be remiss to not talk about the Women's U.S. Open is at Riviera this week. So if you're looking to watch some Riviera and see how it's going to play for the Men's U.S. Open, tune into that. I would love to see Nelly Korda. I believe she's going for the Career Grand Slam or whatever the Career Grand Slam is on the women's tour because it's 4 out of 5, not 5 out of 5.
And what's the 5 out of 5 called?
The Grand Salami.
Okay. Awesome.
No, I have no idea. The ultimate Grand Slam. But I think the U.S. Open has always been
at Denny's.
At Denny's, yeah. And Riviera, whenever we get Riviera on TV, it's a great thing. So I'm excited for that. I also would like to say that Jackson Koiven should be playing in the Memorial this week, not at the NCAA championships. He might be on the Ryder Cup team in 2027 for the United States of America. So
that'd be awesome.
That'd be sweet. But yeah, he's currently playing in the NCAAs. But yeah, big week in golf. Excited for it. Can't wait to recap Memorial and can't wait to get out there this fall.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for listening. Remember, it's Under the Covers Golf. Follow us on all of our socials. Like and subscribe. Check out TikToks, Instagram, Twitter, or X, if you will. And let us know what you think. Peace.
He knows it doesn't matter what's under a hood. The only thing that matters is who's behind the wheel.
When I'm flushing it, I don't stick divots.
But again, with the driver right now, the driver sucks.
I tried to activate my glutes the best I could.
Most important thing, make sure you fade it.